Okay. So today I am having a bit of a lazy day since it is Tuesday. I don't have any classes today and I had a very long weekend, so I think it is due for me to have a lazy day. So today I wanted to sit down and talk to you guys about kind of my first impressions of Japan since I have been here for I think around 3 weeks now. So I think it's about time that I kind of give you an idea of maybe some things that I was expecting or some things that I wasn't expecting in Japan, and maybe some things for you to be aware of if you are going to be traveling to Japan anytime or if you're just curious about the country. So I think I have a list of 10 things that were kind of new to me about Japan. So, number 1. This is something that I noticed within the first few days of being here that I was kind of disappointed about, and that is the smell of the streets. I don't know if it's just where I am, but like my walk to school is through a bunch of neighborhoods, and I remember I think maybe the first or second time I was walking towards school, it's just like a really kind of dirty smell, and it's not the entire city, it's just certain areas, so maybe it's just where the trash is, but it doesn't smell all that great. But again, this is not everywhere, it's just certain places. Number 2 kind of goes along with that. Number 2 is that the cities, at least where I am and where I have seen, are not beautiful by my standards. So if you want to come to Japan, don't come so that you can see the beautiful cities, because in my opinion the cities aren't in my opinion the cities aren't what is beautiful about the country. What is beautiful is the culture and all of the shrines and temples and the mountains and the nature, but the cities are kind of dirty and grungy, at least from what I've seen. You might have a completely different opinion on that, and that's perfectly fine. Alright, number 3. This is also something that was a plus and a minus for me, and that is that the food, at least at convenience stores and grocery stores, is really cheap. It is much less expensive than from where I live in America. Like, you can get rice balls for $1 or $2, and you can get an entire full bento box, which is like a complete meal with all the food that you could need, for $5. You can get like the smaller ones for $2 or $3, and that's a perfect meal right there. So food is really cheap. But on the minus side of that, the food is very different from what I'm used to. So I think the thing that I get most homesick about is the food, because it is so different. And there's just something about it that you might not like. If you know you like a lot of Japanese food, then it'll be perfect for you. Number 4 is the weather. It is getting towards the end of summer right now, but it is still so hot. It is like a few degrees warmer than the weather that I'm used to, which is fine, I can handle that, but I think where the problem arises is that it is so humid here, so incredibly humid. Again, this might just be the area that I live in. If you're wondering, I live in the Kansai area, which is like middle, or well, I guess it's this way for you guys. Western? So it's the Kansai area. I live in the city called Hirakata, which is in between Osaka and Kyoto, if you know where those two are. But this region is very, very humid, and I think we're mostly past the rainy season, so it's pretty much sunny and hot every day. Right now it's raining. I'm pointing to my door behind my screen door behind the camera. it's raining today, but most days it is very sunny. Number 5. So people who work in convenience stores and retail and maybe just workers in general are very, very polite. I think I've seen this with servers in restaurants as well. I think the custom here is not to be overly friendly like it is in America. Like in America, you want your server to be friendly and open and very talkative and like come up to your table a lot. But in Japan, it is seen as better to not maybe come over to your table all the time, not be super talkative, but instead be very polite. So I think most restaurants in Japan have a button that you press to call your server over, so your server will never just come over to your table to see how you were doing. But if you need something, you hit the button. For people who work in like convenience stores or retail, they are so polite. They will always speak very politely to you. They probably won't ask you like, how are you doing, like they do in America, but their tone of voice is very polite. They're always very smiling and happy. Most places will always like count out your change for you and show you the bills to make sure that they're all correct. And if you know about like the respect and bowing system in Japan, all of them will bow very deeply to you when you're done. But the funny thing was that one of my teachers told me that even though like when you go buy something in the store and they're always super polite, they give you a deep bow, and then the customer is just like, and then just walks away. That's what she told me. I always try to be very polite. Oh my gosh, I think there's something in the air that's just like getting on my nose. I might have to close the door. Long story short, people who work in service are very polite. Another thing I wanted to add on to that is even like the guards at school. We have guards that stand outside the gates all day. Anytime I or anyone goes into school, they always say good morning, and when you leave, they always say goodbye or good afternoon. I really like it because they're very nice. Okay, what number we're on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is kind of just a little random one, but I think I showed you the futons that we have in our rooms, and when I first saw these, or when I first knew that I was going to be sleeping on a futon, I was like, I don't know how I feel about that, because my bed at home, I have this really big, luxurious bed with like a memory foam pad on it like that thick, and it is the most comfortable thing in the world, and I love my bed. So thinking of having to sleep on a futon for 4 months was kind of like, that's probably not going to be that comfortable. But surprisingly, they are so comfortable. The way ours work is that you have like a little underneath pad that's like about that thick, and then on top of that you essentially have a really squishy, comfy, like kind of a duvet? I don't really know what to call it. It's kind of like just like a squishy pad. And that's what makes it so comfortable. And then on top you have like your duvet kind of blanket, and it's actually really comfortable and very snuggly and warm, so I'm happy about that. Number 7? Okay, number 7. I'm not sure what all of you know or have heard about how safe Japan is. Japan is typically known as a pretty safe country, and I would have to agree with that, except at night. To me, there's just something about Japan that kind of changes at night, and it makes it a much more scary and unsafe place, at least in my opinion. We have had incidences that have happened in the dorms this semester, and I have experienced things that happen at night, and I will be making a completely different video on safety in Japan, in which I will address those things. I'm not going to talk about them right now, but you have to be really careful when you're going out at night, and especially as a woman, you should never go outside at night alone, because even though this is a safe country, bad things definitely do still happen. And that's something that people should be aware of if you are coming to Japan. Alright, now that we're past that, I think we're on number 8. Another thing that I kind of forgot about when I came to Japan, or before I came to Japan, was that there are a lot of stray animals. I haven't seen very many stray dogs, but I have definitely seen lots and lots of stray cats, and for me, that makes me happy because I love cats. And they seem to fare pretty well for themselves. I don't think they're in a particular amount of danger. But the first day I was here, I saw a family of stray cats. There was a mom and like 4 or 5 kittens, and they were stuck out in the rain, and I was like, oh, I want to bring them inside. But they found a little area to tuck under while it was raining. Speaking of rain, it started raining harder now. I don't know if you can hear it. But since then, I have seen many, many stray cats, as you will have seen in one of the other vlogs. There's also this little area right outside of our dorms where apparently it is the place to be for stray cats, because at night there are always 5 or 6 cats hanging out there. It's like once it gets dark, that's just where they go to hang out, and I love it. It's amazing. I want to be friends with all of them. My camera just stopped filming. I'm not really sure why. But good thing I saw it when it stopped. Okay, so we are on number 9. Almost done. So, number 9. This is something that my sister told me when she got back from Japan, so I was expecting this. And that is that there are practically no trash cans out in public places. And so my immediate question when my sister told me this was that, oh, is it a dirty country then? And she was like, no, it is surprisingly a very, very clean country, at least in most areas. I have no idea what people do with their trash. There have been so many times where I've gotten food from like a food vendor, and then I just had to carry around my little paper bowl or plastic cup because there are no trash cans to throw them away anywhere. Most of the time, if you just have like a food wrapper, you can just stick it in your bag and it's perfectly fine. But if you have like a food container that you just got from a food vendor, you can't exactly stick that in your bag because that's pretty gross. So yeah, you kind of just have to hope for the few and far between trash cans. But like I said, it is a very clean country. I have seen people outside of their homes sweeping up leaves because they don't want leaves and like bits of grass in front of their house. So people really care about their cleanliness. They just don't have trash cans in public around. Number 10, last one. This one's not a particularly exciting one. I just wanted to add in there for people to be aware of that when you're doing laundry, the washing machines work pretty fine. I've heard that the washing machines, or maybe like the soap is more harsh on clothes, so that your clothes might get torn up or beaten up a little bit more than they normally would. I haven't had that problem yet, but I've only done laundry twice, I think. So I'll see how all of my clothes are at the end of the semester. But what I wanted to mention was that the dryers definitely do not work. I don't even use the dryers because I know that it's just not worth it. But I think one of my suite mates said that she had to put her clothes through the dryer 3 times to get them dry. And to me, there's just no point in that, especially since our laundry facilities cost money. So there's just no point in wasting money when you can just hang your clothes up. So that's what I do, as you may have seen in one of the previous videos of me hanging up my laundry. I just hang mine up outside, and it takes like a few hours to dry, maybe like half a day. So if you need something dry immediately, that's just not going to happen unless you have a hair dryer and lots of time to sit there blow drying your clothes. Alright, those are some of the things that I wasn't expecting when I came to Japan. I hope that it informed you a little bit and maybe piqued your curiosity to come to Japan. If you have any questions or are curious about anything, please let me know in the comments. I would love to answer some questions about Japan. Also, if you have any suggestions for places you want me to go that you want me to film so you can see them, let me know in the comments, because I definitely need more place suggestions to go on the weekends that I can take you guys with me. If you have any other suggestions for sit-down videos that you want me to do, you can let me know those as well. As I mentioned, I'm going to be making a safety video. Let me know what you like better, if you like sit-down videos, if you like vlogs better, let me know that as well. So that is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give a big ol' thumbs up. I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Oh, I hope one of those was good enough. I'm not gonna do anything today. It's gonna be so great. I'm gonna sit on my butt and watch lots of YouTube. Workers in general. There was an alarm going off outside. It's still going off. Okay. Also, if you can't tell, I practically live in this hoodie, so you'll probably see me wearing that in lots and lots of videos. And yes, I am still wearing pajamas underneath this because I just can't be bothered to put actual clothes on today. Great. Yay. Give it a thumbs up. Thumbs up for pajamas and lazy days.